Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today for Midweek. We have something special going on today. We actually had something else planned, but you know what? This season's been all about that word pivot. And so today we've actually been pivoting, but we actually are really excited about what we're going to do today. As you can see right now, we are up in our control room. This is where we bring you lots of video sources, lots of audio sources. We actually, this past week, it was really cool. We pulled a video feed from our Skip Back campus to here to send out to you online. So there's a lot of cool things that we do up in this room. And we have a lot of great volunteers who are here serving, diving in and figuring out how to work everything and doing that so that we can bring the message of Jesus Christ to you. That even those people that they can't necessarily come to a physical gathering yet, or maybe they're too far away, they can stay connected with what's happening here at Keystone. And so today, this midweek is all about church online. For the last 7 months or so, we've been doing church online. We've had different seasons of what that's looked like, but we've just had a great time really figuring out what can we do to help connect the church with each other and with the message of Jesus Christ, help worship together, help do all this kind of stuff. And so we've grown, we've learned, we've done a lot of things. Today you'll see some of that. But it's really been an awesome time where we've seen our church reach people that we've never reached before. And so we want to show you a little video that highlights some of those statistics.
Well, and welcome back to this very special episode of Midweek. Church Online has been great these last few months, wouldn't you say?
It's definitely been an interesting season. When we started this year, this obviously isn't what we, expected it would look like.
Yeah.
But it's funny to see the progression of what we've been able to accomplish through this past 7 months. If you compare what we were doing before COVID to what we're doing now, it's a completely different level.
Yeah.
But because of that, we've had some different learning experiences. I remember the week that everything shut down.
It was like a Thursday or something we decided to cancel
It was
church?
like a Thursday, and we're like, everything's shutting down, and, what are we going to do? Like, how do we have church?
Right.
Do we do this online? Do we do this in person? What is it? And I remember thinking, well, maybe the best thing will be is if we get in the room, we'll get some cameras and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe we can have our staff and some key volunteers come, and it'll be this great time that even we can kind of be safe, but we're going to worship together, and that way for us on stage, we're not leading worship, and for those who are preaching to an empty room, because that was kind of like the worst nightmare come like March 14th or whatever that day was. And so lo and behold, we walk out of the room with that plan, and the next day, the government says, "Hey, you can't have any gatherings over like 15 people or 20 people."
Yeah.
And so that idea got shot down rather quickly. And so for 3 months or so, we led worship to an empty room. We came in every Wednesday night. We would record the worship. We'd go through it all. We'd then record the message, get it all edited back from, actually, I think we started on Thursday nights to begin with. But from between a Thursday and a Sunday, we were trying to turn this around to be able to get out to you guys.
Yep.
And it was just a really crazy stretching experience trying to step outside of the box a little bit. We have some really good memories. We have some not so good memories.
Things you laugh about now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
at the time, we're not
Well,
good
I
memories.
mean, too, we tried to be different. Like the one week I remember we did worship at our friend's house who have this great house. And so we wanted to do like a broken down
Yep.
worship set in their living room, which is like a brand new, renovated place. And we were setting up our jib, which is like our big, camera. It's got all these big braces and all this kind of
Yep.
stuff, metal. And I just remember we're sitting there, and all of a sudden the one brace, it just like
I don't remember that,
It
but
like flies off, and it was an inch away from going straight through one of these brand new windows.
Yes. I do remember that.
And it was also very close to crashing one of our cameras.
Yep.
So there's stories that we'll be telling, I think, for a long time.
There was usually a lot of equipment behind the cameras, and a lot of a lot of concern and a lot of scrambling until somebody said action or go, and then it was like,
Yeah,
we're just so thankful to be here today. You
Yeah.
know, we just have to switch like that. And we had never done that. I had never done that before. You know,
No, not like this. I mean, we've. The funny thing is, I remember sitting in the meeting where we were trying to figure out what things were going to look like, and we were praying, and God just showed me that we had just done Home for Christmas past December, and so that was kind of our first experience of not having in-person services and doing something online for people to experience, and that was kind of our segue into this. That was like
God set it up.
Yeah, I mean, that was our initiation phase. And so we'd done a little bit of that, but nothing to the extent of what we were doing. And I remember towards the beginning, we're sitting here thinking, how long is this going to last? Because we're told 2 weeks, and then,
I didn't
then
think
it
we'd
kept
make
going.
it past Easter.
No,
I
no,
thought
no.
for sure we'd be back in by
and I
Easter.
definitely remember that conversation the first time it came up. It's like, we might have to have Easter completely online.
That was
And
like
I
a
said,
fab
no
level.
way.
Yeah,
no way. And lo and behold, we went another 3 or 4 months after that without anybody in the room. But today, as we've been editing this, we've been going through, we've been doing all these things. You kind of start to realize some tendencies that we have from different people. Obviously, I've been doing a lot of the hosting of different things. And I'm not perfect, so I'll just preface it with that. But we wanted to show you a nice little clip. It's a montage, if you will, of some of our best
moments.
Let's call it
pre-show
that.
moments.
So go ahead and check this out. And hey, if you haven't heard, and hey, as we begin, well, hey, I better go get. And hey, this event is. Well, hey, everybody. We hope you had some. And hey, so, we want to.
What would you call that, Chris? Technical
it was the end of the world.
difficulty. Yep.
Let's jump in.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning, for gathering online.
For Church Online with Keystone Fellowship.
Pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
Well, hey. And hey. Apparently I say hey a lot. It's a nervous tick.
When you put that all together, it doesn't really look like much good has happened. But there has been some good.
There's been a lot of good. Yeah, there's been a whole lot of good. I mean, if you missed it in that opening montage, since March, we have had over 112,000 views on our services. Let's just give the Lord some praise right there in the chat. Go ahead, give us an amen. But it's just been amazing to see that what we thought church should look like, and even for Easter, we thought it was going to be like this, and if we can't have it like that, then it's not going to be as effective.
Yeah.
We reached more people than we ever would have in person through doing it online.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, over 12,000 views for our Easter service alone. It was just a really cool experience to look it was a lot of hard work.
It was a lot of hard work.
It was really cool to see after the fact that, you know what, things may not look the same, but God's still moving. Yeah. And we also wanted to show, we just kind of go through some fun moments of what's happened here.
Here are some moments that we felt, maybe you've seen them, maybe you were live, you saw them happen live, but we felt they needed some explanation. Some of them were live. There's one that wasn't, but it was a preface to what was live. So I'd like to start off with, you want to start off with a painful one, or do you want to start off with an easy one? Let's start off with a funny one.
All right, let's go funny.
All right, this happened just last week, and Chris would be happy to explain this.
All right, so the things that you don't know that are happening behind the scenes. So this is what you see if you're checking out church online. But what you don't know is that we have our studio set up upstairs, and our worship team is actually in one of the rooms on the other side of the camera. And so this past Sunday, Danny and I are sitting here talking to you, but what's happening is right below our feet, Brad Steiger and Nicole Steiger, they were stuck on the other side of the camera. They had to get across so they could get on stage. And so I look down and I see Brad on his elbows and his knees, and he's literally bear crawling, army crawling across the floor so that he doesn't walk in front of the camera. That's and I'm thinking, this is crazy. I mean, there actually is a little bit of a passageway that he could get through.
Right.
And then, lo and behold, his wife, Nicole, our amazing worship leader, she does it too. Does the same thing. And I never would have expected it. I really would not have expected it.
So you're trying not to laugh, like you're watching this happen.
I'm literally sitting here trying to keep my focus without just losing it and cracking up on camera. But there's all sorts of those type moments where what's happening behind the scenes. We have people with whiteboards. We have people giving us hand signals of how much time we have left. And, it's great. Or the times, like we saw where I'll be talking for 2 minutes and get to the end and they'll say, oh, yeah, nobody could hear you. So, it's fun.
All right. Let's go to this one. This will be a good one for you to explain technically. What happened?
2, 3, check 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
You can hear checking going on.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's JD, I think.
Yeah. So this is something that we're still.
And it's green, and then it goes.
Yeah,
to
we're still trying to get this just right. So when we're going live, our encoder is scheduled to start at a certain time, but it actually gets a little tricky because what we push out live is on a slight delay. And so
there's a lot going on.
Yeah, so there's a lot of timing going on
there.
And so sometimes what happens is we're still testing stuff while the encoder schedules itself to start.
Yep.
And so that's what you get. You get. I know we had it a few weeks ago where people are checking their mics and Brad's up here and he's trying to do a run through or all those type of things. Those are the things I'm like, you hate to see it.
I'll let skip back. I can't do anything about it either.
No,
I just watch it happen and pray.
It's just there.
All right. This might be one of the worst things that has ever happened during Church Online. Are you ready?
I don't know.
Are you ready?
I don't know. Are you guys ready?
Micah's ready.
Let's see what happens.
Because this was him. Here we go.
Relationship?
This was happening live.
Yes.
When people were tuning in.
So this was the dreaded day. This was the day that I had a rough Sunday afternoon.
He doesn't go to Keystone Videos, mind you. He goes up to Church Online, which is in all caps. And let's just follow this service.
And
drags it into our presentation software.
And we're baptized.
Yeah. So for the first few weeks that we were going live, what you don't know is we were doing our hosting segments live that day. But we were actually showing you the week before of what happened.
Previous week's worship,
Yeah,
right?
So we were showing you the week before of worship, just as we were trying to get our feet wet with some of this stuff. And so what happened was this day, our playback computer, which was supposed to play back the service, crashed. And so what we had to do is, as this was live, we pulled out another computer, and obviously we were dragging files live on air. Into place and playing them, and you could still see like the mouse moving around and all that.
It was and all that.
That was a rough day for me. That was not a good day.
I would feel like I understand. I feel for you because if that happened to me, I would I think the whole day was a failure.
Well,
I'd have to fight through that.
And I think that day I had like 25 text messages.
Yeah, which is a good note. If you notice that something is going wrong with Church Online, I guarantee you we know.
Most of the time. Sometimes.
I guarantee you someone knows and is working on it. I know that sometimes people would like when Skipback was streaming their service, that, hey, there's no audio, and you just get 20 texts. But what you really need to do is use your phone to figure out the audio problem. And you can't, So I appreciate the sentiment, but he's got it.
Sometimes,
most of the time.
Sometimes. Yeah, there's sometimes. The other fun thing is as we've been going through this season, I've been working to train. I just want to shout out. We have some amazing volunteers.
Oh yeah.
The level of difficulty in some of the things that we're doing that you may not necessarily recognize, but these people they've spent hours and hours and hours to try and learn to grow in and to get better at. And so we've been training new people through this whole season.
Sure.
But the fun thing has been through this. I'm usually the one that I have the most awareness of what's going on. And so there's a lot of times where things are going out and there's issues, and like I've had them bring a laptop up to me on stage while I was playing drums for a worship set to try and fix stuff.
For Church Online?
Yeah. I've literally pulled my phone out and set it on the keyboard and like trying to text people while I'm leading worship. What to do.
I've been there.
So it's been crazy, but I do want to shout out, like we have Erica and Nick and just a whole slew of volunteers, Braden, different people that are sitting here and they're giving their time and energy to learn stuff that they don't necessarily have to learn. They could go serve somewhere else, or they could go do something else. But they've been faithful. Wednesday nights, here late. The Sunday mornings here early, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, if you figure. For our volunteers, they come out, let's just say 7 to 9 on a Wednesday, 7 to 8:30.
7 to 10 is probably closer to it.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so 7 to 10, let's just say 3 hours then. Then they're here at 7:15 latest on Sunday, and they're leaving at 12:45.
Yeah. So a lot of these guys, they're giving up.
It's got to be like 7 hours.
Yeah, they're giving up a good chunk of their week to come serve, and a lot of them they're doing it every week. It's really,
thank you.
It's really cool to see how God has brought people to serve on our team, and we're always looking for more people, more camera people, and people to serve in the booth and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we do have. They've been pulling their hairs out sometime trying to figure out what's going wrong. What did we do? How do we make it work? But
we've gotten there every Sunday.
Yeah, Micah and I we're over here trying to get them brought up to speed, but they've been doing an awesome job overall.
So I have a couple more here. These two.
I'm nervous. I don't know what's coming.
No, it's not you this time. I'm going to show a clip of our first midweek. We started midweek back at the end of March, probably, because so many people weren't home or were home because they weren't working. Like life had just shut down. Things were very unknown. And so we thought, let's put out like a midweek, like worship, prayer time thing, just a touch
another
point.
Time to connect.
Yeah, and there was so much uncertainty. You figure everything we know about the world now, we didn't 4 or 5 months ago. When we started midweek, we had no idea really how deadly this virus would be. There was just so much uncertainty. But I want to show you our first midweek, just a clip. It's me in my attic. There's a futon in the background. And then when we're done, I'll show one of our first, actually it was right after Easter, a clip of Mark preaching. And then I'll show just a still, and you can just see how the quality and things have gotten better. And the Lord has really showed us what to do to make things look and feel and sound good. So here's our first midweek. Here we go. Sing, I count. Still have that sweatshirt. The same God that never fails.
Worship in an attic, man.
Worship in an attic.
What we were putting out. But I don't think we were leaving the house that much at this point.
No, we were in the house.
Yeah.
And I had tried to get my equipment to work, and it didn't.
Yeah. Midweek has seen its different iterations as well. Just as we've been.
So is that hat.
Yeah. Just as we've been trying to grow and learn through Church Online, we've been doing the same thing with midweek.
Same thing with midweek.
Just trying to figure out better ways to connect with you and give you guys another connection point with us at Keystone. And so that was one of them. That was where it started.
And here is Mark. This is the week after Easter. Oh, I have another one. The week after Easter.
I'm challenging you to this. We're calling it Connect at the Curb. In fact, I am going to show you how to do it right now. Well, hey, look at that. Look at that.
Well,
I told you I was going to show you how to do it, but I had to bring you to my front yard here in Southern California.
But, so that's funny, right? But, like, look at the quality. This is just the tech guy.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, look at the quality. Decent, but, like, not great.
Yeah, you could definitely see the difference. The fun thing was, too, is Mark is super creative.
Yeah.
He's always brainstorming different ideas. And so he had this idea, and he's like, hey, is there any way that we could make it look like I'm sitting in front of a yard, that I'm at the curb? And so I just Googled, like, front yard. And
this is the first one
that came up was like a house in like San Diego.
I think this is a palm tree.
Yeah, that's a
way
palm
up
tree
there.
if you can't tell. And so that's what we put up there.
It looks good.
Yeah.
The grass looks a little dead.
Yeah.
Which fit with, the droughts and everything. It's a bummer. So shortly after Easter, we were like, we need live pre-shows.
Yeah.
Right? And so I had the benefit of being a test one afternoon, and I'd love to show you some of the highlights of that.
There's not a lot of highlights.
No,
There's
it was a pretty easy video to put together.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Hey guys, welcome to Keystone. Welcome to Church Online. We're so excited you're here this morning. We've got a great service lined up for you. Pastor John's bringing us a brand new word. I'm just making stuff up as I go. I have no idea what to say.
With excitement. Flummoxed, guys.
You want me to keep going? Oh, yeah. Okay. Let me just pretend like it's a real Sunday. As you can see, people are coming in at our Montgomeryville location. Wow, look at those people there, Micah.
There's nobody there.
There's Jeff. Like I said earlier about the preschool.
I think this was a Wednesday afternoon.
And it's just such a good vibe here. We don't do the bagel corners anymore. We do those at Skipback. So if you're more of like a bagel person, this is not the campus for you. The key
I probably
is to
shouldn't have
keep
included
saying
that in
things. Have you noticed that with these pre-shows? Is they're never like, yeah. There goes the energy. You have to keep saying things. Hello? Hello?
And we got locked out. He got locked out.
Mr. Stevens, Mr. Stevens, can you tell me where all the money went?
So anyways, that was our test.
That was our test pre-show.
He's still talking.
A new song from
It is funny though.
We'll
So
see you
when we
inside.
do this pre-show, you really we have people giving us a countdown and all that kind of stuff, but you just kind of have to
just
guess
go.
where your mark is, and you just keep talking. You just keep saying stuff.
Keep saying
until you hit the you just gotta say things.
Yep.
Until that countdown hits 0. So sometimes we're just kind of
So
figuring it
look
out.
at this. First midweek, right? This is just a still from that video. Probably the last time I wore that hat too.
I'm
Here's
challenging you to
Mark,
this. We're calling it do it, but I had to
just looking glued against that LED wall. And now, here's our pre-show from this last week. Look at what...
Thank you for pausing on that face, by the way.
Hold on.
That was a good look.
That's better. But look at, like, the difference, The Lord has really blessed us, like you said, with awesome volunteers, with know-how, technical know-how. And, I mean, now you guys even look the same.
Yeah. And, I mean, the cool thing is, too, is our the thing I love about Keystone is we jump behind what we need to jump behind.
Absolutely.
And so through this season, we realized that we were going to have to pivot. That keyword, we were going to have to pivot.
Yeah.
And so we've flipped our building. For the longest time, our building, Montgomeryville, just became a giant studio. And so we had cameras everywhere.
That's
we
right.
had cables just draped down from our booth down to this,
It was hard to turn it back into a worship center in July.
I mean, we just had stuff run all up and down the steps and the hallways. Even now, like this room that we're in now, it's been a really cool thing where they're just like, hey, this is what you got to do. Go do it.
Yeah.
And so it's been an evolution of just one step at a time, a couple small changes a week, but it's built up over time to be something hopefully that you're proud enough to be able to share with your friends, with your family, with your coworkers, because that's what it's all about. I know this might sound weird, but we don't necessarily do Church Online just for you.
Right.
As Keystone, we do Church Online to spread the reach of the gospel. And so, when you hit share, when you hit the like button, when you comment, when you text the link, when you do all those things, you're not just sending a service out to somebody. You're sending an opportunity for God to move in someone's life.
Yeah.
And so that's why we do what we do. Sometimes we do silly stuff, but that's just a better way to connect. It's a better way to engage.
Yeah.
We want you just to really experience what God has in store for you, whether you're here in person or whether you're 1,000 miles away. We believe that God can do incredible things in your life through Keystone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's been a really cool process, and I know we can kind of sit here and we can laugh at ourselves.
Sure.
We can definitely laugh at ourselves.
Yeah, we did that most of the afternoon.
Yeah, for different things that we've done, and we can point out where things haven't gone right, but there have been a lot of times where things have gone right, and things have been reaching beyond what we could have ever imagined. And so, just like we said, we had over 12,000 views on our Easter service.
Yeah.
That means that there was people that heard the gospel that probably never would have heard the gospel otherwise.
Absolutely. People that might not feel comfortable walking into a physical church building now have an easy outlet, an easy way to connect, an easy way to see it. And Easter ended up, like you said, 12,000 people, more than we've ever had at our physical locations ever.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Huge win.
Yeah, and the cool thing is I've heard, I heard a story last week of a girl who has attended Keystone for much of her life, and she went off to college, and she's hundreds of miles away, but she gets on every week, and she's connecting, and it's just another connection for her to feel connected to what's her family is experiencing, because you're able to experience your church from afar. We've had people that have said that Keystone has become their church home because they found us through Church Online. We've had people who've prayed to receive Christ, and we've had people who've now wanted to come and get baptized because of what's happening through Church Online. And so I know a lot of the questions, sometimes there's that question, is Church Online real church? And I think it's this. I think it's what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And so I would encourage you, maybe you're somebody who comes in person. Church Online is still a great vehicle, a great opportunity for you to help share church with people that your friends, your family that don't know Jesus. Maybe you're someone that watches every single week because you're not ready to come back yet, or you're not in close proximity to one of our campuses. This is, again, it's a great opportunity for you to participate, to engage, to share, to comment, to send the link, to do whatever you can. Use it as a ministry opportunity. It's never been easier to invite someone to church than through Church Online.
Yeah.
Everybody's on social media.
True.
I mean, 90% of the world's on the internet every day. And so that's our mission, that's our mission field.
Yeah.
And so, we kind of wanted to just end something that we thought was cool.
Yeah.
I think something that we're pretty proud of that we did. I think we did pretty well, especially having to pivot. Pivot. But we want to show you a clip from our Easter services this past year, and you just really celebrate that. Yeah, we've done some things where we've had some glitches, but we've also done some things that have really reached far and that God has used for His glory. So thank you so much for joining us for Midweek. Go ahead, check out this video. My friend, we followed you. We thought you were the one to see us all through. Thought you would topple the rulers and break off restraint. Instead, you were buried and we sit here and wait. You said you would rise, you would come back to life. But it's been 3 days, it's been 2 long nights. Still here we are waiting, anxiously praying, what will come next? I want to believe, I really do, but death is final. Is it final for you? You've done great things, I've seen them before. Signs and wonders, can you do them once more? Oh friend, we wait.
You can do all things. You can do all things, but fail. 'Cause you never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. I know, you never win. Yeah, you can do all things. lost a battle. I know, you never will. I know, you never will. Lost a battle. I know, you never will.
You arose, you're alive, you did it, my king. Forgive my doubt, I give you everything. You were nailed to a cross, we were tied there with you. That sin that you took, that was my sin too. They crowned you with thorns, now you're crowned you with gold. You're the peace in the storms, you never let go. They called you king, and they'll say it again. What victory you'll bring, every battle you'll win. You turn death to life, open blind eyes. In you there is hope, no more lows, only highs. Your grace sufficient, your mercies are new. I met sin, but then I met you. My God, you will reign forever and ever. My heart it will sing, you're my Savior forever.